Everyone, this is Samuel from Learn Programming Africa. We are looking at pointers, arrays and strings today, and before that I have a request to make. Please subscribe to this channel if it is going to help you, I know, but as it is actually I have a lot of audience on this channel, but a little subscriber, so please hit the subscribe button when you look into this video, at least. That is that, and we are going into the pointers and the pointer arrays and the string. For what the pointer arrays and the string, I will prepare a documented tutorial, I think, but for now I'm going to dive into the quiz and the project. After on each question I'm going to explain what I'm doing and how it is going to I think I'm going to cover what pointers are, arrays are, and strings are on the quizzes for the beginner, as we will look into them widely for the coming projects as well. Please read these materials and this one. Actually, if you want to go in depth, you have to cover this one as well, but I will try touching them a little on the quiz as well as on the project. So let's go dive into the quiz. The first question is, what is the size of a pointer to a character on a 64-bit architecture? This is a tricky question. It is not the size of a memory for the character or the car data type. It is for the pointer, as it is dictated. The pointer holds the address of one or the address of a value of some data types. It can hold for doubles, floats, strings, as well as for arrays. These are all the same. For example, the pointer size for every data type there is 8 bytes. That is why I chose 8 bytes here. What is the size of a pointer to an int? As I have told you, for every data type it is 8 bytes, so we are choosing 8 byte here as well. If we have a variable called var of type int, how can we get its address in a memory? We have two type of operator in that we are going to learn today in a pointer. The first one is printing the value of the variable that is in the address that a pointer is pointing to. That means a pointer is pointing to an address that holds a value, which is, let me show you on the tutorial. For example, here, for example, if c is here, this is a variable and its address is 8, as you can see. So a pointer is pointing to this address, not the actual value. So it can access the value as it is. It knows how it knows where the variable is held, so it is going to point to the address, not the variable. So there are three kind of things here. There is address, there is variable, and there is value. For example, here address 8 has a variable c which holds a value of h. So a pointer points to this, a variable points to this, and a value is this one. So what I'm trying to say here is we have a pointer, so the address, we are going to get the address by this one, by this operator, which is end, or an end, a single end operator. So end var will display the address that we have the variable in, and this is going to give us the variable. This is times var, which is star var, is going to give us the value of the variable. This is as well the same as this one. It is just have a bracket around, that is these two are the same, but this is what has been asked, so that is what we do. What is identifier to print an address with printf? Address with, okay, what is the identifier to print address with printf? So addresses are pointers, so as you can see, percentage %p is what we are going to use. Percentage %d, as we know, is digits. These are I don't know if they exist, but to my knowledge they doesn't exist on C identifier for a printf. So that is what the thing is. The process of getting the value that is stored in the memory location pointed by a pointer is called what? It is a the process is dereferencing, which is this sign star var is going to dereference the value inside that inside the address that is given. So that is that. Is it possible to declare a pointer to a pointer? Yes, why not? It is just holding the address. We are, for example, as you can see here, this is a 4-byte, 26, 27, 28, 29 are. If we are considering this as a single byte, for example, integer has 4 bytes, so we are holding 4 bytes for integer. So we just need to give it 8 bytes to hold the address of the pointer. So we can do whatever we want. We can point to whatever we want in C using a pointer. So it is just taking 8 bytes of memory. That's what it costs us. So what happens when one tries to address an illegal memory location? If it is illegal, the memory location we are referring to is illegal, it is going to say memory segmentation fault. Our program is going to print segmentation fault. That is the error message we are going to see. For example, an illegal place in a sense, for example, if you have given an array of size 2, integer 2, and you are going to hold 8 bytes for it, and if you reference the 9th byte, it is going to give you a segmentation fault. So that is what this question is asking. So what is the value of n after the following code is executed? So this is int n equals to a 98. It has initialized an integer, a variable with n to 98, and it has given a pointer p, an address of this, to point to an address of this variable. So if we execute this in a code and print a value of n, it is going to be 98. It hasn't changed here, so that's what it is. As you can see, we have assigned n here as well. What is the value of n after following code is executed? So we are going to assess this as well. This is n is assigned to 98. That means n equals to 98, and a pointer is assigned to reference to the value of this, or a variable n, which is which has a value of 98. So if we update p to 402, which is the pointer is now addressing or referring in a direction or pointing to an address that is on this location. Or for example, there might be 402 might be 402 address might be holding another variable or empty cell or something. So we are referencing, we are updating our pointers reference from address of n to 402. So our n is not going to change. So this is what 98 is for. So that is that. What is the value of n after executing the following code? Int n equals to 98, int p equals to address of n. So what we are doing here is do what this pointer is pointing to, get what this pointer is pointing to, which is an address of n. So it is pointing to n equals to 98, and dereference it. This is going to be, p is going to be 98 here. So update that value to 402. That is what it is saying. So update 98 to 402. That's why our n after execution of this code is going to change. So we are dereferencing n to change the value inside of n to 402. This is important. As you can see, this is the operator we are using to dereference what is inside n. So that is how we are going to crack it. So what is the value of n after the following code is executed? So int n equals to 98, int pointer p equals to address of n, pointer p plus plus. So if this code is going to be executed, for example, copy here and v here. So I'm going to do this thing. So print f, and it is going to be a digit which is n, and I'm going to end it with new line here. Here I'm going to remove this, and I'm going to run this code. As you can see, n is going to be 98. So the reason we have chosen this is going to increment, but it is not assigning this value to it. So if we make this thing p plus equals to 1 rather than incrementing it, and the value of n is going to change to 99. So I'm going to give it a semicolon, and well, it is not updating. Okay, it should update using this one. So we are printing before the operation. I think as you can see, it is 99. So we have p plus plus here. Okay, enter, then build and run. It is 98. For the reason this is being executed, I think it is the execution process that is the matter here. So it is somewhere this is a temp variable. So let me look into the variables by, so I'm going to put this here and run, build and run, build and run. Okay, debug. So let me, next line, step into, okay, build log. Alright, whatever the case, this is going to update when this is not on it. I'm going to include this on my tutorial next time, but I couldn't explain this myself currently, so let's pass. For now this is not updating, that's why we are on 98. We declare the following variable. This is array of 5. So integer has for what is the size in memory of the variable r. For example, if I'm going to come here and do int, for example, x and 5, I am declaring I'm declaring here an array, and I'm going to use printf d new line and size of x. If I say this, if I try to run this program, it is going to give me the size of this array. As we know, integer has 4 bytes, and if we are going to assign 5 integers for that array, it is going to be a multiple of the value it has, and both the value it has times the number of times we are going to use it. So if this is the case, so it is going to print 20. That's why. So 20 is here. Let me check on this dog and come back. I've tried to silence the dog for a while at least. So this is what is the size of in memory of the variable array. This array is containing 5 integers, so it is going to be 5 times the size of integer. So the size of integer is going to be 4 bytes. That's why we are printing 20 bytes here. We declare the following variable int r5, what is equivalent of typing r2, which is this is actually dereferencing the value of dereferencing array value, which is on the second. It is going to be, for example, let me come here and write some code here. Let me make it 3 equals to 2, 3, and 5. So this is going to be right, and if I come here, let it be a digit, and I'm going to make it 2. This is going to print the value on the second line, as we are starting from 0 here, 1 here, and 2. This is going to print number 4 for us. So we are going to see if that is true. So what's left here? expected before this token. Maybe this can do it. Main. And this one. Build. Expected expression before this one. So on here. Alright, let's see. Initialize array integer array. You see, let's look into it. I'm going to look into it here. Let's come down here, and as you can see, my array one, yes, it is curly brace, not bracket. That's what it is saying. I have been using curly bracket for a long time. That's why I couldn't figure it out sooner. So it is segmentation fault, it is saying. So let me do here 3, enter, and as you can see, it is 4. It is printing. So the reason it is giving me a segmentation error is, as you can see, x is going to be randomly choosing a variable for this 3 arrays. So it is going to give them some random variable, and on there are some value or other things. That's why it is giving them this segmentation fault, as I told you before. So this is going to be x2 is going to be this one. That's what the error, the actual thing is. So if I want if I want to write this by on a pointer, x plus 2 is going to do the same for me. As you can see, this is dereferencing the value on the first address is x. X is going to be here. If we want this one, it is going to be the first address, this is going to be the second, and this is the third. So x is 1 and x is 0, and if it is going, we add 2, it is going to be 3. So that is the third element there. So that is what I'm trying to say. As you can see, this if we use this one, it is going to be the first element plus 2. That is what it is going to print. I'm going to use this one, delete, and here if I use this one, it is going to print 2 plus 2 is 4. Let's change this to 3 so that we are not going to be confused. So it should print 5 for us. 5 it is, as you can see. So it is changing the value. This one is not true. If we are going to do this one, it is going to be give us an error. So that is that. So this is the correct answer. That's why it is chosen. Let me hide this one and continue down to the tasks or the projects. Before that, I'm going to read through the general requirements. The allowed editors are VI, Vim, and Emacs. I'm not going to use them. All your file will be compiled on Ubuntu this using these things. All your file should end with a new line. Your file should have a readme. Your code should use Betty style. You are not allowed to use global variables. No more than 5 functions per files. You are not allowed to use the standard library. That's thus. You are allowed to use putchar. you don't have to push bootstrap, so they are going to use theirs. So we are going to do some testing today, or depending on their test cases that they are given. So don't forget to push the header file, which is main.h. The prototype of all your functions should be including the bootstrap in the main.h. So let's go dive in, and I'm going to come here and desktop, alx-africa, alx low level, and I'm here. As you can see, I have nothing here. I'm going to cd into alx-africa and alx low level programming and ls here. As you can see, there is nothing there, so I'm going to start by creating these things here. So the first one is this one, copy, and I'm going to make directory, and this one, and I'm going to copy this one and cd into 0x05 tab, and then I'm going to cd into it, and I'm going to touch this file. It is going to be .c. So the first one is I'm going to use vi for readme, readme.md, and as you know, you can write a readme, a well-documented readme, using as we have talked, the entire functions and the entire things. For example, you can say 98 battery straight, and from here, and control shift v, and come here, and this one here, I'm going to v, write, it is saying write a function that this thing is what I hate about vi. It is unpredictable. So let me come here, delete, then insert here, and so I'm going to make this bold. To make it bold, you have to add, insert, now let's go to WQ, and I'm going to open this readme by text editor. Here I'm going to remove the entire d things from here, and I'm going to add ** here, and it is going to be as it is going to be a markdown, it is going to read it as a markdown, and as you can see, it is going to bold it. If you want a header, for example, if you want a header of something, like you can say this is the h1, this is h2. If I do this, and for example pointers and pointers, arrays, and the strings, for example, it is going to style it like that. And if I do this, it is going to make it smaller on when it renders on the GitHub. So that is how you can document your readme files well. I'm not going to do that, as we are going to just see the problem. So I'm going to open this code, and I'm going to add for the rest of what I need here. I'm going to touch main.h. I'm going to touch, actually put char.c, and I'm going to go here and I'm going to take put char code from here, copy it, and I'm going to open this one and this one as well, and I'm going to v it here. As you can see, put char is like this, and I'm going to do this one, copy. Okay, I'm going to add a line: if defined, if not defined, main.h, define main h, and if here. So I'm going to add things here. So this is the first prototype function we are going to have. So I'm going to do this, and in here I'm going to include main.h like this. Then I'm going to add some kind of description here, and I'm going to take my function name from here. Let me close this one, and I'm going to go back here and void here. So I'm going to have to put it here as well as here on the main edge, as this one. Save and reset to 98 is where should be defined here. Reset to _98 is a function to update the reference of a pointer. Here, if we have another thing to do. Here is the variable we are getting, and this is pointer to n, and we pointer to n to be updated. That is what we are going to do. So this code, this is saying write a function that takes a pointer to an int as a parameter and update the value it points to 98. So this is, we are going to we have a pointer. This is a pointer to an int. For example, this, if we print this function or this variable, it might be 98, it might be something. For if we use printf for example, let me write this thing here. Okay, let me explain by doing, for example, if we are going to this pointer has an address it is pointing to, like for example n can be 1, for example it is 1, n equals to 1 on somewhere else, and this n is this pointer is, for example, x is 1, and we have n equals to address of x here, and our n is a pointer. As you can see, this is pointing to this location, and we are asked to change this value to 98. That is what we are asked. So if I make it good and int x and int, and this is going to be, it is a pointer pointing to an x, so we need to change this this value, as we have an address to this one, and we need to change the value of this one. How we are doing that? We are going to dereference that variable like this, and equals to 98 is our answer. So if we do this and tap here as well, if I do this, it is going to be, Betty is now going to complain. Let me check if she is complaining. Betty here, main.h, Betty here, and 0, this one. She is not complaining, so Betty is good and we are good. So this is what we are asked to do for this exercise. As you can see, this function is reset to 98, so it is referencing to some point or some memory address, and our memory is going to update to 98. That is what is asked. Let's check this. Git add all, git commit message pointer resetting using pointer, git push here, and that is done. So let's come here and check if our code is working well with requirements specified. I hope it is going to be working well. So let's see. As you can see, everything has passed as we have passed all. So let's go down and write some function. Write some function. So this is what this question is saying, is write a function that swaps the value of two integers. The prototype of this function is going to be this one. I'm going to copy this, and I'm going to go down here and create that function, that using touch. I'm going to create that file, and that is going to hold for us the code, and I'm going to say touch one swap.c. So I'm going to do that here, and I'm going to come here and open this one using this one, and I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to close this one as well. I'm not going to use it anymore. So I'm going to include here, what main.h. Yeah, main.h is going to be included here, and I'm going to add a description here. So I'm going to paste it here, as it is taking two arguments. We are going to do that as well. I'm going to come here and there trailing. So here there is our prototype of the function. Here we are going to write the code. So I'm going to remove this one. I'm going to add this thing. Then what this is saying is swapping these two values. So I'm going to write swap integer given two integers, swap the values they are holding. This is going to help us on sorting algorithm when we write a sorting algorithm. So A is going to be parameter 1, and B is going to be parameter 2. So this is that. You can give any description you want here as well as here. Just you need to insert this description here and these two description here, so that Betty is not going to complain. Our code is perfect if it doesn't have these things, but if you learn this way, you are going to write a good and readable code for your future self as well as for a developer that is joining your company anytime at the sometime. So let's do our code here. I'm going to write the swapping code, and the swapping code is going to say I'm going to do for example int temp variable. We need the temp variable here, so after that, so that Betty is not going to complain, we are going to give her a space with line. So here we are going to come here and write something like this: temp equals to a, the reference of a as this one, and we have kept our a on this variable. We are going to keep our b value inside. For example, our a is going to be equals to b, which is, for example, we have kept our a value so that it is now going to be overridden by written by a value of b here. So I'm going to go down here and I'm going to make our b equals to temp, which is perfectly which is going to do perfect going to be perfectly swapping our code or our number. If we have something, for example, a has 7 and b has 8, if we come here, we are going to assign 7 to temp, as it is going to be kept for next time, and we are going to make a which is 7 to update which is 7 to 8 by this statement. Then we are going to update b to 7 by, as we have kept our value on here for later use. So that is how we are going to do a swapping. So this is going to be good. I'm going to go to Betty here, Betty number 1 swap. See, the space required after that times on number 13 here. What? The space required after this. Really? Is this how you want it? I don't know if this works, but let's see if she stops complaining. A space is prohibited after that. This space is preferred around which one? This is prohibited, so why is she giving me okay? As you can see, this is what she is saying. I have forgotten to give these things a semicolon. That is why she is complaining. I think she is now giving me the correct answer. That's how I find out. But if we are not going to give this thing, so this thing is going to be counted as a space. That is why she is complaining. So let's check our code. Git add all, git commit my swapping is easy, git push. So let's go here and check our code. By the way, I am a Python coder. That is why I'm repeatedly forgetting colon, semicolon. By the way, you don't need a semicolon on Python. That is sometimes cool, as well as indentation is going to give you a hard time. So I'm going to be perfect on Python, so you are not going to see an error like this on Python. So don't worry about C for now, and excuse my errors, and those are silly errors. So let's keep them where they belong. So let's continue to the second question, which is implementing what? Write a function that returns the length of a string. So we have a way to get a string length by using standard library. We can use string.h, which is the header, so to get this function. So we can use that, but we need to implement it, so we are going to implement it our own. So let me copy this one, come here. Okay, first I'm going to touch my file here, touch to steerlane.c. so I'm going to open it, open steerlane, and I'm going to delete this one, and I'm going to add it here, what I have copied before, and I'm going to come here, include main.h, and I'm going to give it here a description, and I'm going to paste here, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to copy this one and come here and paste it. A function to get the length of a string. So this is it, and I'm going to come here and say at s is going to be a string, pointer to be passed to this function, and I have nothing. It should be its return type is going to be int, so I'm going to say return what should it return? Let's read right, that returns the length of the string, so it should return the length of the string. So returns length of the string. So that is how we are going to describe our code, and it is pretty awesome. Let's write the code. So as we are going to, this is a string, so we have a way to loop through a string, and I'm going to use a while loop here. I can use for loop if you want. I'm going to show you using both, and we are going to get to it. So I'm going to say int c or count, or I can say length. Here I'm going to come here and do this, and I'm going to do while s is not equals to the end character of a string, which is this character. I just found out it is like this, so I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to come down here and do the code here. So I'm going to say length equals to length plus 1, or I can say length plus equals to 1. These are the same thing. I prefer the latter, so I'm going to remove this one. remove this one, and I'm going to do s plus plus as well. S equals to s plus 1. Let's see, and if I do here return in bracket length, it is going to return me a length, so I'm going to give it a semicolon, as I have forgotten. I'm going to forget it if I left it now. So this is a strlen function, so I'm going to run it in my local machine, as I'm not actually confident about it. So let me come here, and if I say car s equals to hello world, so it should give me not return. I'm going to do printf what, I'm going to give it a digit and length. So this is going to give me an error. What is it? You should use a semicolon here. Let me do this, and segmentation fault. What is going on? So it should be a pointer, so let me make it, this is going to be x, and I'm going to make int s equals to address of x. Let's try that, and if I do that, okay, learn programming Africa. So I'm going to I'm not going to use printf. I'm going to actually use put char, which is inside my I don't think printf dlen. So let's see if what they are using. So this is strlen printf dlen, so it should give us the this thing. So let's change the code to use a for loop rather than while loop. So let me come here and say for, and then I'm going to say I'm not going to assign it, as it is assigned, and come here. So I'm going to do skip the assignment part. Then if I do this, s not equals to the end character I have used previously. 0 is the end character of these things, so s plus plus, and I'm going to do this one. And this is going to move up. S plus plus is going to say dot here as well. If I do this, it should be fine, I think. That was the segmentation error. So 6 is what it gives us, but it should not be 6. I'm going to make it s here, as 6 was actually the 6 was the length of the address of this thing. That's what I should say. So 32777, what is it? Okay, this is not correct. if we do this plus plus, does it work? So let's see if this works. I'm going to make a new line here. I'm going to run this 777637776. I don't know what's going on, so let's change it to for loop and try. So I'm going to come here and copy, and I'm going to change this to for loop, save, and if I run it, it is the same. But why is it the same? Yes, hello world. It is an array, but it should be a pointer. So I'm going to say okay, car s x equals to ampersand s. So this one is going to give me maybe the correct answer. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 actually, not the other way around. Okay, x is this and s should be this one. S should be x. So let's do this, and it is going to be same. I don't know what's going on. It should give me the exact result, but let's check our code. Whatever the case, here what I wrote was 4, so that this is actually a character, a pointer, so that is being passed. It should be, for example, if I use here, I'm going to include string dot h, and come here and print f x, copy, print f steer len of x. It should give me 11. That is what we should wrote, or we can use actually here, if I need, I can use I can include here a string.h here as well, and I can return here a steer lane of what s. So that is how we can do it. Cut here and here. Let me check my code. Betty 1 2 steer lane, it is correct. So I'm going to git commit message string length here. So I'm going to check my code, and I'm going to check for the previous one as well. Going back, let me do this first. What is going on? Swapping is easy there, so I have committed, I haven't pushed. That's what happened. Git push, come here and check. Yes, here as you can see it has passed. Let's change it back here. As you can see, lane plus equals to 1 is correct, so I'm going to save this one, and I'm going to save this as well. So I'm going to come here, other way to print string length. Push. I'm going to come here and I'm going to start. Oh, it is now making me start this one. Please check with this one. Check with this code and let me know on the comment, as well as we are going to interact with each other on the comment, so that it is going to be fun. Let's check on your side, and we are going to do that. So let's continue. I'm going to continue to this one, the third question, which is puts. Let me copy this code, copy this prototype, bring it here, and I'm going to come here and I'm going to clear out of my thing, and I'm going to touch 3 puts.c, and I'm going to open 3 puts.c, and I'm going to save this one. I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to come here v, and I'm going to include first. I'm going to include main.h, then I'm going to do this, and do this. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do puts. Then this is a function that puts something. So I'm going to come here, str, a parameter, a param to puts function. So that is that. So I'm going to go down here and see what it is that prints a string followed by new line to stdout. So the standard library provides similar function, which is puts. Puts is inside stdio, so we are not allowed to use that. So we are going to use underscore put char that was given to us. I'm going to open it here. So I'm going to come here and here and start writing the code. So I'm going to check if my previous for loop is going to work. So I'm going to loop through this using the previous for loop, for then space, then I'm going to skip the assignment as str is given to me, and I'm going to come here and reference the last digit, and if it is not going to be equals to the last or the ending character of a string, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to jump over one by one line, or one by one character on the pointer given, and I'm going to use a put char, which is my given function, or in this function is in the main.h, so I'm not going to worry about it. And if I do this one here, str, this is considered as character array, and it is looping through the character array one by one until this character is not going to be this one. So it is like that. So I'm going to put char. So we have to add an end line at the end. So here I'm going to add put char. I'm going to say ending with this one, So this is good, and I'm going to clear out of this. Is there a return type? No, as it is void, it is not going to return anything. So I'm going to Betty on my 3 puts, it is Betty compliant. So git add all, git commit. We have done the what put function. By the way, we are going to implement a function or a printf function as our program or our schedule is saying. So be prepared to do the implementation of a function in C, which is pretty much actually tiresome, I think. Git push, and it is going to come here and start the new test, and it is going to work. I hope. Please work for me. Yes, it has worked. Let's go down, and I'm going to use this to do print rev.c. So let's see what we are going to do here as well. Let me open this one. Let me copy this. Write a function that print string in reverse followed by new line. So this is what this is saying is, if he give you, I do not fear computer, I fear the lack of them, Isaac Asimov. So I'm going to reverse them and Vomi Sas Kasi and in reverse order. So we are printing this in reverse order, so we are going to copy this one. By the way, I have read the these requirements before I jump into recording it. So I'm going to touch for print rev.c. So I'm going to come here for, and I'm going to do the include part main.h, and I'm going to remove this one, put Carmite help us, let it be there. Even if it is not going to be here, it can be done. I'm going to come here and v, and I'm going to print rev here, printing a string in reverse, and here there is an s equals to what, print parameter, the string to be printed in reverse. Here, as you can see, I'm going to do something. So as you can see, it is going to be a string in reverse, so I'm going to need a length character. Let me include a string.h here. As it is built in, we are not going, we are using angle bracket. If we have made it, it is custom, it is going to be within a quotation, and that is a difference. So I'm going to use integer n, and n equals to what, a steer lane of s, I think. So this is going to be the string, give us the string length of the thing. So I'm going to loop through this for n I equals to n, actually n minus 1, I will say. I greater than or equals to 0, I minus minus int I comma this one, and I'm going to say what I'm going to use a put char here as well, so that I'm going to let me come here and remove this one, and I'm going to say this one, and I'm going to say character, and I'm going to come here and print x0. It should give me h only. This is how we access a value of array. 4 should give me 0 is 0 1 2 3 4. 4 is going to give me an O. As you can see, it is an O. So that is how we are going to access our string as well. So I'm going to do put char, then what? Put char, then s and I is going to be our thing. So what this is doing is if s is coming, s equals to hello, for example, hello, what I'm doing is here I'm going to count, or I'm going to get the length of this one, 1 2 3 4 5, n is going to be 5, and I am looping through for I equals to n minus 1, which is n equals to 5 and minus 1 is going to make it 4. I is going to be 4 and I greater than or equals to 0. It is true, so I minus minus, we are going to put char what? 0 1 2 3 4. The fourth one is going to be put here, and I minus is going to make it number 3. It was 4 first, and it is going to be number 3. Then on number 3 we are going to print this one, on number 2 here, on number 1 here, and on 0 here. That's why we use greater than or equals to. If we used greater than only, it is not going to work. That is what we did. Let's come here and do git add all, git commit m, and what? This is a function to print a string in reverse. Git push. Let's come here and check our code. Okay, there is something wrong with our code. What is wrong with our code is, okay, everything has, okay, this is not good. Okay, what other thing? I'm going to, I have added something. Let me make this dog go away first. Let me continue. So I have put some string here. As you can see, this was what I removed. Let's see if this is going to fix this thing. Git add all, git commit message what done or hot fix, git push. As you can see, let's check our code. Okay, I have cdetail here. I have passed most of the things, and So what is happening here? Let's come here and come here. It's okay. This is not inside main.h. Let's come here and put this in here. Save this. And what is the other thing? Empty string. There is body style as well. Body my for space preferred around this missing blank after declaration. Okay, C12, which is C12 is here. Here it should be like this. Okay, what is the other thing? Space preferred around this thing. Okay, I think here it is saying here, so I'm going to do that for it. What is the other warning? It is that, so I'm going to save this and I'm going to PTE on it. It is good. So what is the other part? Okay, here as you can see it is expecting a new line. It should be 446 characters. I am giving it 445 character long. That is what it is checking, so it has counted it. It should be 446, which is with new line, but I am giving it no new line, so I'm going to give it a new line out here. So put char here and here. So I'm going to save it and I'm going to git add here, git commit hotfix. It should be now correct. So if they give us these things, the errors, we might get actually a lot done. So what is wrong now? Here, how I push it? Oh, I have committed it, but I haven't pushed it. Git push here, and it is done. Let's start our test, and it should be correct. What happened? What happened here? Compile error. What is it saying? And the compilation error is in file included from this. Okay. Okay, here in function print rev. What is it saying? Storage class specified for parameter size t, type definition size t, in file this error expected declaration. So let's come here and see what is going on. So I'm going to git add all, git commit, git look into it. Okay, alright, I think it is not giving me what it should give me a correct right here. No, it is not giving me anything here. Compile. Alright, I think I have made something terrible here. What did I do? By the way, okay, here. This is not going to fix it. Anyhow, let's see if this fix it. I don't think I am supposed to use this one. Let's find a way to count our thing. So so let me do this one, and I'm going to change. I'm not going to change anything. I'm going to just come here and I'm going to say I can use while here. I think while, for example, s okay, I have to initialize n equals to 0 here, so n not equals to the string end character. I'm going to move down and what? I'm going to increment n plus plus, so that is going to give me the thing I need. So this is going to be n is the length of this string, so I'm going to do this and check, and I'm going to output char here as I, not as I, I'm going to say the new line character here, and I'm going to check here, start the test, and it should pass now. Please pass, please. Oh my goodness. Git status, git add all git commit new fix git push, and let's see here. I forgot to commit my changes, but it is the same. So let me do it by my own and get back to you. That way maybe I can fix it, or I can think of something. So let me put it on under this video, or under the description of this video, so that it should work. So let me, have I included it here twice? Print rev. Let me remove it and check. Let's check here. It has worked previously. Git add all, git commit message new fix, git push. Let's check this one. I have not included it, but it should give me this error previously, but now Let's check. Okay, what is the compilation error here? Sorry for a while. Alright, before 4 n plus plus printer. Okay, this should be, there should here be a semicolon. I am Python coder still, sorry. Git add all, git commit message menu fix git push. It should give me an error now as well, as I have removed from the main.h the prototype, but it is not giving me anything. What is it saying? There is a Betty violation, Betty number 5, I think, number 4. Space around this is preferred. Where was that? I'm going to come here, I think is that. Okay, git add all, git commit out fix, git push. And that is done. Thanks God. I am not going to do this thing after I am done with this video. So let's go here and continue on our journey. Come here, bring it down here. It should be here, but I don't know why it wasn't giving me an error. I think they are using their own main.h. That is what I can say from here. So I'm going to close this one, and I'm going to come here and come here, and I'm going to add, okay, touch what 5 rev string dot c, and I'm going to open it by coming here for rev string. So I'm going to rename it here, rename number 5, sorry, not 4. So let's come here, open it, include main.h, right. I'm going to say here, I'm going to, okay, rev string reversing a string, and s is parameter s. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do what? If this is saying if I'm going to give it sum, it should give me mass. That is what it is saying. So this should be like this. So for this algorithm we are going to need some temporary variable. Then I'm going to also need two types of length, the actual one, and the other one. So I'm going to int. The first one is, as I'm going to use for loop, I'm going to use I, and I'm going to do length 1 and length 2, so that I am going to I'm going to explain what I'm going to do with them later, and we will try. Then if it fails, we are going to do it again. So I'm going to give it one line, and length 1 equals to 0, length 2 equals to 0, semicolon, and I'm going to come here, and I'm going to do while first to get the length of the string that was given to us. While we did this before, while s length 1 different from character end character 0 here, end character 0. What am I going to do? I'm going to length 1 plus plus and semicolon here. I have forgotten first, so I'm going to clean this up a little bit here. So here I have got the length of my string. Then I'm going to add here length 2. I'm going to assign length 2 to a point to the length 1 minus 1, as I'm going to loop through the length 1 first. It is going to give me this one, so I'm going to loop through for I equals to 0, I less than or equals to less than or equals to length 2, actually length 1, and equals to should be removed as we loop through the first one, and I plus plus. I'm going to change some things, but I'm not going to change them now, as I'm going to tell you and change them later, so that you know what they are. So I'm going to do the swapping here, as we know. So we have, for example, if I wrote here sum and here mass, I'm going to use this temp to swap my I'm going to use temp, then I'm going to make this on this thing, so I'm going to si should be my command here. As you can see, si is giving me what is si doing. Si is doing at 0, so at index 0 it is going to be s, and on the si I'm going to do how we have done this code before. We have used this code for swapping. So on the si, what am I going to do? I'm going to change m for the si, so I'm going to do that s, so length 2 here. After that, on s length 2, what am I going to do is temp, then the length should be length 2 equals to minus equals to actually 1. This is doing, for example, xl sum alx, so this should be xla mass, right? So this should be, for example, if I am here, it is going to change this, and this code is, if this code is executed up to here, it is converting this one and this one. So X and S are on their right position, and AML are here. So what the second loop is going to do is, the first loop is going to increment I first. Here I is being incremented, as well as length 2 is being decremented. So length 2, for example, 1 2 3 4 5 6, sorry, at my place there was a power outage, so let me do some things here and try to go through the code one by one from here. So as you can see, S and A is what have been swapped. So for now, SI equals to, for SI, for example, if this is it is going to be 1, so A is going to be coming, and for the first one it is going to be length -2, as this is going to do that. So this is going to come here. So A and L are being swapped. As you can see, these are on their place, and I'm going to come here, and A and M are should be swapped. So the third loop will do that. If we go through this entire loop, it is going to make this swapped back to the previous one. So we are going to do here divided by 2, so that it doesn't do that. So we have to go up to this only on this loop. That is what we have done. So I'm going to come here and git add all, git commit message what hotfix, or what reversing string, git push and let me check my code. Coming back here, okay, what happened? Compilation program error. So in function ref string, okay, I think I have forgotten a semicolon. Semicolon expected. So I'm going to come back here and add my semicolon here. I'm going to Betty check my code as well. Betty is also trailing, a space should not be there on what, on line 26 here, I think. So Betty should also git add all, git commit hotfix, git push. So I'm going to try going faster now. So let's check our code. What happened now? Compilation error still. Okay, I have to remove that from here. Save. Git add all, git commit message hotfix, and git push. And I'm going to come here and check my code. Yes, that is passed well. So let's go through this as well. here I'm going to come here and get this one. Okay, here I'm going to minimize my screen light, and I'm going to cut this and copy this one, come back here, put it here, come back here, come back here, come back here, and touch it here, touch 6 dash puts 2.c, and I'm going to open it from here, puts 2.c, and I'm going to include main.h. I'm going to do this one. I'm going to come here and do this one, and I'm going to do puts 2 what puts 2 function. I'm going to steer parameter. So that is that. Let's come here and where I'm going to come here, and I'm going to save this one. I'm going to save this one as well, and I'm going to come here and read the instruction. Write a function that prints every other character of string starting with the first character followed by new line. So I'm going to go through this one by one. So I'm going to use Stirling. Let's use Stirling. Include what a string dot h. Let's try and int len equals to steer len of what steer. So after that I'm going to for loop through it for I equals to 0, I less than len, I plus plus, then put char steer what I, then put car new line. So this is that, and what is left here, so this is going to give me some error. Let's do git auto git commit message my okay puts 2 function. It should give me some error. I hope it is not going to give me, but let's see what error we have. The first, the compilation error. What is the compilation error? In function puts 2 declared. Okay, it is not declared, so I'm going to declare it. So as I told you, this was the error, so I was used before declaration, so I'm going to do this git add all git commit message hard fix git push. So let's see, this is printing the characters for us, going through the string through the links. So let's see, have I pushed it? Yes, I have pushed it. So I'm going to check my code, start the new test. Okay, what is the error? There are some things passed, but here on Holberton, okay, on Holberton I have given Holberton, but the expected was HLETN, so why is that? Expected is this, so 6 character was expected. Okay, the thing is, it is saying write a thing that prints every other character of a string starting with the first character. So I'm going to start with the first character. So let's change this. Okay, what I'm doing is here I have to beta check it here. So I'm going to here jump by 2, so that will do it for me. Let me beta check first. Beta number 6 puts trailing white space on line 5. Line 5 is where here. Okay, space required around this plus equals to here and here. Okay, so if I do this and check it again, it is not there. Git add all and git commit message hot fix and git push. If you see this is what I need to do on the entire code, so it is done. Let's check our code again. Check it. Okay, now we are going to go to number 8 or number 7. Okay, puts half, so let me put out my lighter. Okay, so here for example I'm going to void copy, alright, and come here. Okay, I'm going to come here and I'm going to say what touch 7 dash puts half dot c. So I'm going to come here, open it. I'm going to include main.h. So I'm going to come here and put it here as well. And I'm going to come here and do this. Then I'm going to put 2. Is it puts 2, right? Is it puts 2? I think puts half should be the name. Okay, 7 puts half. Okay, I'm going to put okay, length of the string -1/2. If the function should print the second half of the string, so if the number of the character is odd, then the function should print the last n character of the string where n equals to. Okay, so okay, let's go through this together. So I'm going to go through the function. So let's use steer include a string dot h and int x y x equals to steer len of a string. So then we have the string, so I'm going to say if x reminder 2 equals to 1, what am I going to do? Y equals to x divided by 2 minus x divided by 2. What is it? Yes, if it is odd, what should it be? X divided by 2 okay, else plus 1 actually, and semicolon, else what y equals to x divided by 2. So here that is done. Then what am I going to do is I'm going to add I here, and I'm going to go through for I equals to 0, I is equals to y, I less than x, I plus plus. I'm going to say put car, what? Put car as it is going to be a digit. Is it going to be a digit or what? It is saying second half of a string. This string, so I'm going to assume the given string are going to be a number. Half of a string. A put car is not going to give me the exact string. Actually, it is going to. So okay, so I'm going to do a steer, then I put car in line character. So what this is doing is, if it is going to be odd, it is going to say x over 2 plus 1, which is, for example, if this is sum, 3 divided by 2 is 1, so 3 divided by 2 is 1, so it is going to start from this character and go up. If this is 7 by 2 is 3, and it should go start from this and print these ones, including this one. So it is 3, it is going to be 3 plus 1 is going to be this one. So that is what we are going to print. So for now I'm going to remove this one, not like that, but so I'm going to do this, and I'm going to come here and paste it 7 space prohibited on here. Okay, what is going on? No description found for a function put. Okay, here puts half string parent. So I'm going to save this as well. Git add all end git commit message new commit end git push. I'm just checking this one, and I'm going to save this video as my computer is going to finish or shuts down any minute. I'm going to check this, and how much is left until it checks. I'm going to see, I think there are 4 questions left, so I'm going to do them and send it. I think it has passed all, thanks God. So let's finish it here, or write a function that prints an element of an array integer followed by a new line. So this is going to be easy. I'm going to attach the thing, the code or the program I wrote to the description after I upload this video. So enjoy the video. Thank you.